Welcome to the Deal Champs podcast. I am your co-host, Mr. Strat Daddy. We have Mr. Willie Numbers here today, Mr. Formula One, Mr. Buffman. We have Captain America, Dean Rogers,
Captain America
in the flesh, down in Visalia, watching hobos shoot up meth in Olive Garden. We'll talk about that a little bit later today.
Me and Ed's.
Me and Ed's. I apologize. But welcome to the Deal Champs podcast. We have an amazing guest on today. 8 million's in the title, but he only did 7 million, but who cares? It's only $1 million. Our mission here is to empower and inspire our listeners by highlighting real life deals from people from across the country and bring on amazing entrepreneurs like this man right here, Mr. Willie Numbers, who do amazing things. They're experts in their field, and we want to provide actionable insights to help people learn and grow their business. If you are on the podcast app, do us a favor, go leave us a 5-star review. If you're on YouTube, that way, go hit that like and subscribe button. Oh, and then real quick, follow Willie. What's your IG? Willie Numbers?
Yeah, with a Y.
Willie Numbers with a Y. At Dean Rogers Real Estate. At Strat Daddy. Dean spelled it wrong. 2 T's, 2 D's, 2 Y's.
Where did I spell
we
it
forgot wrong? in our little Google sheet. And then don't forget about the master of hair, Mr. Jason Pritchard, our other co-host. He's not here currently. He's currently in Cabo, living his best life, getting his hair done, I think. And then to submit your deals, go to deanrogers.com/podcast. We love bringing you guys on, talking to you about like, hey, what was our biggest one? Our biggest one's like 160,000. A dude made on a wholesale.
I think it was 142 on a wholesale.
Yeah, like something even number, and it was crazy.
On the other side of the country, like he doesn't even live there, you know.
That's up there.
And then, right, that's up there.
Let's go.
Let's make sure we add everybody in the groups, and then let us know where you're from, who you are. Go to streamyard.com/Facebook. But all right, Willie, how much did Formula One cost?
Well, I went last year and it cost me $5,000. This year, I couldn't get those tickets, so I ended up spending like $1,200. But they were really good seats by turn 11, 12, and 13. So I had it was in the shade, which is the most important part.
That's what I heard.
Yeah,
it was hot,
dude. It was 100 degrees.
What?
With 100% humidity. It's bad.
Oh my god.
There was people, I could see them across in the bleachers with zero awning. They were just like roasting.
Probably with no umbrellas or anything, too.
No. There was actually a guy with one of those little hat umbrellas, which I thought was hilarious. But it's also
but that's worth it. Yeah, that's worth it.
Yeah, it was definitely worth it. Yeah. But yeah, man, it was badass. I mean, I went for the first race ever last year, which was awesome. Miami's a perfect city to do it in. There's so much stuff to do. And dude, those cars haul ass. It is so cool to see live. So
are you a car guy?
Yeah, I love cars. Yeah.
Like, do you have are you starting to build a car collection?
No. I did it ass backwards. So I did have an AMG GTR at one point. I had like a lime green race car.
Okay.
And that lasted like 4.5 months because it was stupid and it was impractical because I have a Doberman and I didn't have another car. So I ended up getting a supercar. And I went to go pick up my grandma one day to go to lunch. She's like, "What the fuck is this?" And I'm like, "I know, I know. Just get in the car." So it was really low. I would bump it everywhere. It was very painful, but it was fun.
So dude, I knew about Formula One growing up and everything, and like it was kind of cool. Maybe I'd see some races every once in a while, just like in passing. But when Drive to Survive came out on Netflix, dude, the way that they did that show, literally, I think, unless I'm wrong, I've heard it several different places, helped blow the sport up in the US. Like that show alone. And dude, I love Formula One now. Like it's so sick. It's so cool.
Dude, it's just like even more than that. Like we're all in certain circles and we've all done really well and we've probably come from nothing, but the networking and the money that there is in Formula One is just, it's a different tier. Like I've never in my life, if you're into watches, I've never in my life been in one concentrated area with more Richard Milles,
Richard Milles,
or Paddock Philippe. Like Like nothing like that. Like some of the tickets were $100,000 for the weekend.
Wow.
I mean, Tom Brady. Look, just Tom. I saw like the pavilion. It was Tom Brady, Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Vin Diesel, Tom Cruise, and Shakira hanging around.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah, no, it was out of control, bro. And they flew it on a helicopter. It was sick. Sick.
Are you a watch guy? I've been looking at APs. That's the big deal watch. When I close,
I don't have an AP. I like Rolex, but I have two, but nothing crazy.
And then what's your dream car?
My dream car, Lamborghini Aventador.
those are sick.
Yeah, coming soon.
Coming soon? How
No,
soon?
Like next year. But this year I won't make the mistake of not having a secondary car.
Wait. Did you already order one or something?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, it's on the list.
I'm more like a spur of the moment kind of guy.
What makes you more confident and able to, like, you know what, now's the time? Because like you'd think it takes a lot more money in order to buy a car like that than people would think, just thinking about cash flow and like having cash reserves and like stuff like that.
Yeah. So for me, like I bought out all my partners in my business. So I'm now
Since the last time we talked?
Yeah.
You bought out one more?
Yeah. We had already bought one out, and then my co-founder, I bought him out. So now I'm by myself. The education is doing very well. I keep buying more rentals, and just I don't know. It's just I feel it. I don't know. I feel it. Turn 33 next year, so it seems like a good year for me. I don't know. Just put it out there.
All right, what was the first question I got? So I watched one of your videos with Steve-O, and you were talking about at one point in time, you're like, bro, we just need more leads and we're going to take over the world. And you're like, that was the worst possible idea ever.
Yeah,
and I kind of just ran into that in another one of our companies. So what happened? How did you fix it? What did that look like?
Yeah, so we scaled very first 3 years we were a 7-figure business, like 2 years into the business, and then third year we jumped up to like 3.5. Fourth year we jumped to 7, which was obviously.
So real quick, just to pause real quick right there, because that's crazy growth. It's really hard to go from $1 million
that's a lot of
to $2 million, but to go to $1 million to 3.5 and 3.5 to 7, what did that even look like for you?
It was a lot of time. It was a lot of fast-ass decisions. To be fair, so I want to answer Stratton's question, but I'll answer that one after. But let me. Do you mind if I just get his first? Dean's like, don't make me wait.
Yeah, no, he doesn't. Stratton doesn't care. He's fine.
Yeah. So to answer that question, we scaled so quickly that we needed to hire. And then it was COVID, right? And our market, I'm sure yours did too. We appreciated South Florida so freaking fast that we thought, okay, we just need more leads. We need more leads. We need more leads because we had more people to feed, right? Because we were just doing more deals. And the more deals we did, the more money we made. And then it was more money to redeploy. And we were heavy on the wholesale side. So it was real, like our cash conversion was quick, and it did get to a point where we had like 7 reps, and we did hit a ceiling. We were averaging like 500 leads a month, new leads, right? That's a lot. And we wanted even more. And I thought that was my initial thing, right? But sitting with Gary.
What do you have to do to get 500 leads a month?
I mean, you were just doing everything. You were doing,
maxing out everything until
11 cold callers, 7,500 texts a day, 180,000 mailers a month, and probably 15, 20K a month in PPC. So we were maxing everything you could. And then even then, we could have done TV. We could have done radio. We had a lot more avenues. We were marketing in 5 different counties at that time, but our heaviest market was South Florida. So, we tap that out, but then you do run into like a point of diminishing return where you're spending so much. And then as the market started to cool off, we were like, oh shit, this is a really hard machine to tune down now.
It gets weird when it's a big boat to move.
Dude. It's like a cruise ship.
Really,
you don't realize it. We went from like a center console 80-footer with 5 engines hauling ass so we could slow down. To before we knew it, we're like, damn, we're on a freaking Carnival cruise line now.
Yeah, bro.
Like approaching the port, we're like, damn, we really got to slow this thing down 2 miles out in advance before we hit the port, you know? And I don't know if my math is right there, but yeah. So, you know, everybody talks about scaling down. Nobody really talks about, or scaling up. Nobody really talks about scaling down when you've gone too fast and a market shifts, which was not in our formula. It wasn't.
You did it fast as fuck, bro. I remember talking to you about it. Like you did it really, really fast in order to like hedge.
Yeah, man. Look, dude. I just like I just react very quickly. You know, I get it. A lot of people. It was very difficult. A lot of people wouldn't like my style of doing it. I fired a lot. I fired very quickly. I got rid of fat very quickly. I changed vendors. I did this. I mean, I did whatever I saw fit in order to do that while trying to preserve relationships.
Yeah.
But it was, I saw what was coming and I'm like, dude, we're fucked. We got 120 grand a month carry. Like if we don't get this under control in 4 or 5 months, we got a real critical mass issue here.
Yeah.
Because you'll smoke 600 grand quickly. And a lot of our deals were moving, like things were, you know, interest rates were going up. I mean, they were jacking up. We were also in the middle, like my background's in finance. So when I saw the rate hikes keep going, and I'm like, dude, these guys. You knew
exactly what was going to happen.
Yeah, I was like, dude, these guys are hiking at a pace where if we don't get ahead of this shit now, we're going to have a big boy problem down the line. And we were rehabbing too. So we were holding a lot of stuff at the time. So, you know, probably $2 million worth of capital in properties, not just wholesaling. If you're wholesaling, it's no big deal, right? You just trade it out.
Turn down the marketing.
No problem. You know, reassess, maybe have a cool down period and go again. You got some hard assets. You got 7-8 rehabs going out of time. You got some problems.
You lose any cash?
Did I
on any of those flip? On any of those flips? Did you lose any cash?
Oh yeah.
Some people did. Some people didn't.
And I did it because mentally I had already accepted that. And I'm like, look, one thing, again, I credit my finance background, but I remember talking to my partner and I was like, dude, he was like, oh, we're going to take a loss. I'm like, would you rather take a 20K loss today or a 100K loss tomorrow?
Right. Cut your losses now.
Cut your losses now. I mean, Mark Evans, who we all know.
That's exactly what I was about to say. Mark was fucking hammering on it, bro.
Yeah, dude. And then, you know, he made that one example about the guy called him with a property and the boiler and this and that. And all he said was sell it. And he's like, wait, but sell it. I don't want to talk about it. Just sell it. I don't care. I don't care what it is. I don't want to deal with it. It's too small of a problem. Sell it. Next story. You know, and I've always respected that. And I always learned that from Mark too. Like hire fast, fire faster. That was it. And if you don't do that, you know, there's a reason why I'm still here. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is.
Oh, yeah. All right. So we didn't give you a quick intro. We kind of hopped into it. But I love talking to you because I love how smart you are. Give us a quick intro, Willie, of who you are.
Who I am.
How many Formula One cars you race in a year. How expensive your shirt was. How much you pay for your haircut.
The shirt might have been more expensive than the event.
Yeah, right.
Bro, it's like fitted, bro. Look at it, bro. It's on his titties. Exactly, bro. It's tailored. Look at that thing.
Dude. It's $140.
Bro, that thing is on him. On him.
It's an XL, believe it or not. You know that? This is an XL.
Bro, you don't got to brag, bro. You don't got
Dean's a monster, dude. Look at him. If Dean picked up the gym tomorrow, like at my pace, dude, he'd be a behemoth walking around.
Nah, he's got a bum ankle, bro. He can't do shit.
Oh
yeah, I'm gonna get you for that one.
You guys with your little stretch bands going on, little tension bands. I like it.
Oh yeah.
I like
it. Get the blood flowing. That way you just feel jacked for the podcast.
Anyway,
give us your intro, man. Give it a little breakdown. Yeah.
So my name's Will Denis, Willie Numbers on the gram. I started in real estate in 2017. My background before that was at Merrill Lynch. I got fired, heard a podcast, got started in real estate, scaled up to.
Wait, you gotta make it sound as good as it is. You were a Merrill Lynch on Wall Street.
Yeah, I was there. Yeah. Yeah. So I was in New York. I was on Wall Street. I was trading oil. I was a junior trader on the way to become a full-time trader, which takes a while. And then I got fired. And then I came back, moved back in with my mom, heard a podcast, You know, the rest was kind of history. It sucked for the first few years because you have no idea what you're doing. But again, I hit the ground running. I was a college graduate on Wall Street to now putting out bandit signs in the middle of the rain at night, hoping somebody would sell me their house. It's a mind fuck, to say the least. So, you know, but you just, you know, you were playing in the league and all of a sudden you're like, all right, I'm going to go do something else. It's, you know,
strategy. Taking a step backwards to take a step forward, you know?
Yeah. And look, I feel like I've had a lot of points of humility in my life. One of the biggest ones that I was tapered down hard in the best way possible, because I do believe it happened for me, not to me, was when we did scale to 7.3, I did start thinking that I was hot shit. You know, I started thinking like, I can do no wrong, right? I'm slamming 20, 25 deals a month. The fuck could you tell me, right? What's a KPI? You feel me? Like that kind of attitude. And yeah, like who the fuck tracks KPIs? Just straight up, like what's a KPI? I look at my bank account, I can tell you that KPI. So, you know, it was that, and then I was forced into humility, and I was like, wow, okay, well, you're not as smart as you think you are, you know. So you kind of just, you know, that's humility for you. So, and Merrill Lynch was that for me. I thought I was hot shit, boom, got fired, back again, you know. And the same thing when I started the education company, you don't really realize it. You know, you get to a certain level in your current business, and then the education business, that's a whole nother business. Now you're looking at again, and you're like, wait, what? Like, but I've done all this bullshit. It's like, it doesn't matter.
You don't know squat. It's a whole different business, a whole new thing that you gotta figure out. Yeah, it's crazy.
You forget about all the systems that you built for years, right? That are just like, well, why isn't this done? You're like, oh shit. So and then you know, like, all right, we got to build this whole thing in order for it to work the way I want it to.
Junior Dennis says it's Tighten Up Tuesday, bro.
Brother. Look at him. Tighten Up Tuesday, bro. It's my brother.
What's Tuesday for you?
What's Tuesday for me? Tighten Up Tuesday. You just got to get your shit together. That's what it means.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the gym, you know, because Monday is International Chest Day.
Is it?
Bro, Monday is International Chest Day.
I wouldn't know because I don't have to work out. No, I'm just kidding. But no, that's my brother. I'm glad he's on here. But yeah, man, you know, you just figure shit out. And what you think works over here, it doesn't apply to the other side. And you have to get through it, and you have to go through the motions. And that of course it's easier. And I'm still actively running a wholesale operation as you guys are. It's not like we disappeared and we're like, yeah, we did a bunch of cool stuff 3 years ago. Now I can teach you about it. No, we're still actively running that business and teaching it. So it's, you know, it's not like we just disappeared from the other business. So, you know, you still have to tend to that baby. But yeah, man, you just got to learn it as it comes.
So real quick, for those of you that are on and listening live, we want your participation. You guys don't realize you got someone on here, a total killer on the other side of where we're at, on the other side of the country in Florida, closing lots and lots of deals to do.
Who came on at the drop of a hat.
Who came on a drop of a hat today and had a year, $7.3 million. Try to wrap your head around that. What does the day-to-day have to look like to make that happen? So guys, come with your questions. Let us know where you're at listening to this right now. Can see you guys on here, so I know you're here. So let us know where you're at, where you're from. Fire away the questions. We want to have some good conversation back and forth. That's what makes it fun. Also, before we get going here, we want to make sure, if you didn't know already, then you know now. We have our next big event in Fresno, California this Saturday, May 13th in Fresno. And we're going to have Carlos Reyes, Nicole Espinoza, Michael Zuber, Stratton Brown, Jason Pritchard, myself, Dean Rogers, and the most dangerous man in the game, Pat Hilton, emceeing the event. It's going to be an incredible event. These are life-changing moments. I've experienced it myself firsthand. And by the way, my life's pretty good right now, but each time I go to another one of these events, my life gets better. It's undeniable. I meet new people, new connections. I receive new information, and I get better as a result for going. So if you haven't gone to the website yet, you can go to deanrogers.com/event. Okay. We want you to get your ticket if you haven't gotten it already. We do have a sale going right now on general admission. If you use coupon code SALE49, you can go to the event, general admission ticket for $49. If for any reason at all, that's an obstacle for you to get there, reach out, send us a DM. We'll get you to the event for free if that's what we need to get you to there so you can change your life. We want to see you there. It's going to be an incredible event, a big production, and definitely going to receive the information and the relationships to help change your life and your business. So we want to see you there. If you guys are hearing this live, drop a message in, let us know you're hearing it. And let's dive back in.
Dino's so much more organized than me. I just fucking hop on and start going.
Dean's really good at that, huh?
Dean is like an operator. Dean is like a real organized. He's not the maverick personality type.
Boom, 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 boom. I like it, Dean. I might have you MC my next event. It's unbelievable. You're really on point with it.
Let's go. Let's do it.
A man of many talents.
Let's do it.
Bro, that's why we call him Captain America.
He does look like Captain America.
Bro, it looks like Captain America. He's buff, tall. Hey, guys, great job out there. Lisa from Fresno, ready to bring a lot to the community. Thank you so much, Lisa.
Yeah, Lisa, if you're not going to the event yet, we want to see you there. Honestly, shoot us a DM if you need help with the ticket. If not, go to the website, grab a ticket. It's definitely a can't miss event for sure.
Real quick.
I'd love to have you guys down here for one of our
Dude, let's do it. We're down.
You aren't down in Miami, are you? You're outside of Miami?
I live in Fort Lauderdale, but our event will more than likely they're always in Miami.
Lisa got her tickets. Let's go.
Nice.
If you got friends, Lisa, that want to go, bring your friends. Let's do it.
We have Mother's Day this weekend. Bring your mother.
Bring your mother. Let your mother have transformational experience at the event.
That's right.
We're going to change your entire family's trajectory.
That's right.
Yep.
And right. But we don't believe in online options because when my honest opinion with this, and I got this from Mark, actually. He was like, bro, you're going to make most of your money from the relationships you're going to get from there. He was like, you're going to get some great value from the speakers, but you're going to get insane value from the relationships you make.
Yeah.
And
I got to say this. I've experienced this. I'd be curious to hear your guys' opinion. I love networking with people virtually because that's what I've had to do. I'm a virtual investor. I live in San Diego. My business is where I grew up in Central California. So there's that distance. And most of the business I've done for all these years has been virtual, not even knowing what the person looks like. But when I meet someone in person, there is a way different energy exchange that just gets me excited. It gets me to know what kind of person they are. And if they're giving back the same type of excited energy that I give, then dude, there's sparks flying. As soon as I locked eyes with Will, I was like, holy crap.
Look at that ass.
This is love at first sight.
Does
he work out?
The first time that we actually met was at the family mastermind. And you were at the by the bar, even though you don't drink, but by the bar with a bunch of other guys. And I walked up to you because it was my girl and I at the table, and we had a 4-person table. It was only 2 of us, and I was like, "Hey, man, you guys want to join our table?" And Dean was like, "Seriously?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude, come and sit out." And I had seen him, in videos and stuff like that. And I'm like, this guy's probably a douchebag, ex-NFL guy, whatever. But honestly, he was the sweetest guy ever. And he just sat down, and we really did start flirting 10 seconds into it. And he's like, "So what do you do? What do you got going on over there, huh?
Yeah.
Just some weights or what?" I was like, "Yeah, you want to order a calamari together, or what do you want to do here?" And dude, it was from then on, it was awesome. It was a great relationship.
It was great. And then Rafael Cortez came and messed it all up, right?
Yeah, that's it.
My man Cortez.
I love Cortez. I love that guy. He's the best thing to ever come out of Home Depot, other than plywood.
Yes. Oh my God.
The banter that Cortez and I have with one another between the Cuban jokes and the Mexican jokes, it's bad, bro. It's bad. It's so nasty. I love it.
That's the best.
Dean's like in the corner over there, like straight white boy laughing, like under his breath. He's like, and I'm like, you can't laugh at that. Be serious. Be serious. Don't laugh at
that. You're not allowed to laugh at that.
Yeah. And he's like, what, bro? No, I'm like, no, I'm kidding. Laugh.
So who we got? I agree with you. Agreed. Lol. But everybody agrees the online stuff is cool. Yeah. Like, man, the energy that you feel in a room, and I'm a big energy guy, is going to be completely different. Even the proximity of getting around those type of people and seeing how they think, how they operate, how they carry themselves is a game changer in and of itself. You don't get that from YouTube.
No, another game. Like, it's also, I firmly believe that it's more like that experience, that interaction is just ingrained in you in a different way. When you shake somebody's hand, when you have like a funny moment or something, when you're physically together, it's just a different like depth of interaction, you know.
100%.
One of my biggest like game-changing moments is when I met Josh Snow, and Josh is a year older than me, and his company does $200 million a year, and he just sold another company for $110 million.
Big boy.
Right, but then you shake his hand and he's real. It's not like something you read on Facebook. It's not Mark Zuckerberg, and now it's like real and tangible. Like, oh wow, like he's a normal guy. Yeah, don't get me wrong, Josh is insanely smart, but he's not like Jesus, right? He's not like floating like you're gonna make it up to be all these things, but then it's attainable. That's what that's always been huge for me.
Yeah. I remember going back to Mark Evans. I remember meeting Mark Evans for the first time. I was like a year into investing. I had chatted with him on Facebook back in the day, like 2016 or something. And I'll never forget what he told me, because I approached him like to mentor me, not knowing who the hell Mark Evans was, because I was flat broke at the time. And he was very cool and cordial about it. But he literally told me, and I actually showed him the screenshot of the message when I met him a year and a half later. And he was like, look, man, I normally tier people up that are already doing something, and I supercharge them. He's like, no offense, but I just don't think you're there yet. And that's okay. Just hit me up down the line when you are. And then I met him a year and a half down the road. I was like, yo, you remember you saying this shit to me? I was like, dude, you like changed my life with this. Like, I busted my ass for a year and a half knowing I'd meet you. And he was cool as hell, man. And then I had a cigar with him like a month later, and it was super cool. But it's nice when you meet people like that, and they're actually just real, genuine, cool people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Bro, so a couple things. When I first got started in real estate and everybody was talking about KPIs, I thought they were fucking nerds. I was like, bro, why what? Like, bro, y'all are fucking nerds, bro. I was like, I'm not worried about that. I make fucking money. Like, it's like same mentality, right? But like, I didn't come from like any type of finance background or anything. Yeah, bro, we just go out there and like we buy houses, dude. And like, what the fuck is a KPI?
Sound like a total
right? Sound like a total jock, bro. And then Willie, how much were those full traders making? Like, were they making multiple 7 a year?
Yeah. Some of the big boys, like, 40-year-olds, 37-year-olds. The youngest one, I think, was like 34. He was a freaking animal out of Harvard. But yeah, he was pulling in like $2.5 million. There's a couple guys, like the guys that kind of override the trade floor, like the guys that are higher up in their 40s, $3-4 million a year, depends on bonuses and how good of a year the team does as a whole. But big bucks, man, big bucks. I think
their hours, though.
Huh?
Their hours are bananas, aren't they?
Yeah. I mean, it kind of changes as you tier up, but you do work a lot, because it's not even like the workload. It's just the nature of that beast is so fast, and it's like going all the time. And like, if you sleep on Wall Street, people make fun of you. Like, it's looked down upon. It's like, oh, how many hours you sleep like? It's like, oh, you got 5 hours of sleep. Like, must be fucking nice, like that kind of stuff. Like, oh, what time were you at the gym today? Oh, you were there at 6. Fucking loser. Like that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Or like, oh, you left the office, the sun was still up. Loser. Like that kind of shit. And it's just part. I mean, I was pulling in 100-hour, 120-hour work weeks all day as a newbie. As a newbie, you're getting put through the ringer. You got to know through football. It sucks. Like it sucks. You're the low man on the totem pole. There's no easy way around it. I've slept at my desk many times. Like it just is what it is. That's what it is. And it's like that for 2 years.
Here's a good question for you. Being in both environments, having seen what it was like on Wall Street, that was what you wanted to do. And now you've had success in real estate, being an entrepreneur, everything that comes with that, all of the struggles, the pains, the fulfillment of like getting to the metaphorical other side and achieving success. Which would you rather be doing? Like, if you could go be a trader, would you still want to do that because you're so passionate about it? Or are you like, screw that, I don't want to do that, I want to do real estate?
If I had a perfect world, all right, I would be a trader. I would run a hedge fund, and I would park all my money into real estate for tax purposes. if I had a perfect world, I love real estate. I love what I do. I've been fortunate that I've been very successful at it. I busted my ass at it. I approached it with a very Merrill Lynchy, mindset to a certain degree. I love the freedom of being an entrepreneur, like, freedom when you actually get to a certain level that you can dictate what you're doing. And I love choice. But the fast pacedness and the dog world of Wall Street, I miss it. I enjoy that. It's extremely competitive, and like someone's always trying to take your freaking lunch money. And I don't know, there's like a certain allure there for me. Maybe I'm a sicko. I mean, I think we all feel that way. You just feel that way. Like it's like a bunch of David Goggins just running around, just like fuck you too.
Bunch of fucking Harvard little dude, David Goggins.
Yeah, like but that was funny for me. Like I did not go to Harvard. Okay, I was not an Ivy Leaguer. I went to FIU in Miami, which is barely like a Division II football program.
Yeah, bro.
But I busted my ass. I got an internship. I was the first one ever hired out of FIU. Merrill Lynch actually never used to look at FIU because it was kind of like beneath them. And I busted my ass in the internship, and then got asked to stay, and then I stayed there for about a year and 2 months. So I was around. That was a very big culture shock for me. Being around, like when I got to orientation, it was funny because you had these little name tags, and they have like your college, right, and all this stuff. And dude, everyone I met was like Yale, Columbia, Dartmouth, fucking Stanford, Harvard, and NYU was like, it's like that was low on their totem pole. So when they read FIU, they were like, the fuck is that? And most of these kids were little pretentious kids that their daddy was somebody on Wall Street or something like that. So I don't know. I was from Miami. I had a chip on my shoulder. So I was like, dude, I will fuck you up. Like
I'm here to fucking bury you.
But I will bury you in terms of work ethic and my attitude, So this is what it was. And I think that's what got me there, because my boss was actually a dude that wasn't from that Ivy League world. And he busted his ass for 10 years on Wall Street. And he was like, I like what you got going on. I like it. You just got to hone it in, but I like it. It's raw, and you're rolling, Like, and you see all these little shitbags here? They all got daddies or uncles or grandfathers somewhere.
Yeah, they're all daddy's boys, bro. Yeah, they ain't got no fucking grind, bro.
And I'm like, dude, I don't even have a dad. So, and he's like, exactly what I'm like, I'm fucking rolling, bro. Like, that was my attitude. I'm like, bro, if you get in my way, I'm going to fuck you up. Like, that's just how I came in. And, it probably wasn't, but it was like on Wall Street, that's fair. That's fair game. It's fair game. Like, you get your ass kicked by anybody. It's fair game. Your degree means shit when you get there. You know what I'm saying? Yep. And work ethic really shines. And I think in real estate investment too, where, you have people, it's like, oh, I've been an investor for 10 years. I was like, I don't give a fuck. So what? How much money have you done? What
I crack up with that one when you're talking to the experienced person and they're trying to strong arm you on something, and they say they've been doing it for X amount of years. It's like, that means nothing. That literally means nothing.
The fact that look at this point in my career, when somebody has to tell me how long they've been doing something, it's already a fucking red flag for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't take kindly to it, because I'm not opening up a conversation, be like, hey man, I've done $7.3 million, 500 transactions, and I've been doing this since 2017. Like, I don't open up that way.
Right.
Now, when we have a conversation, you're gonna know, okay, this kid knows what the hell he's doing, clearly. But I'm 32, so I spoke at an event the other day, and they gave like this grandiose intro, which honestly, I was like, damn, that's a big boy intro. And the guy's like, he's only 32 years old. I was like, oh shit, now I gotta follow that one up, And I was more like, just let me do the talking. Like, you don't have to give me some big introduction. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't like the perception sometimes that it gives to people. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
But anyway, that shit kind of shines.
Bro, so who was the operator? You're the salesman, right? Or
No.
was So what was it with you and your partner? Were you more of the operator and the other guy was the salesman?
Yeah, so he was on the acquisition side. I did acquisition for 2 years. Figured out that I was body slamming people a lot, and it was great, but I don't really have empathy. It's like a skill that I've had to develop over the years. I'm not
like me.
I'm not a naturally empathetic person. Like I do remember, and this is gonna sound fucked, but I do remember when I was very young in my career, like somebody would be talking to me about like how someone was deceased or their dad or something like that, and I wouldn't even catch it, and I would just move on to like, so how old's the roof? Like within a 2-minute like span.
Yep.
And it was, but yeah, I'm definitely the visionary, big thinker, and I set up the operations and all that stuff. I wouldn't say I'm like a natural ops guy, but I can see big picture.
Yeah.
And I'm a driver, bro. I'm a driver. I just love to drive, and I drive very, very hard, and I can work 26 hours in a day if I could, no problem. And I enjoy it. I enjoy what I like. When he hit me up and he's like, hey man, can you be on this in like an hour? And I was like, that's 8 p.m. Eastern time. And I was like, what did I say? I was like, sure, no problem. Like I enjoy what I do. I love to work. Like, this is not even work to me, obviously, but I love this. Like, why not? We only have so much time in this life, but why not just fucking put forth everything you got? I mean, you know what I mean?
What else do we have? Full traders, KPIs, bro. So why are you not hitting hard on the high end coaching? I feel like you would blow everyone else out of the water. Just my personal opinion from knowing you and everything else, talking to you, because like your shit, and then that's a massive market that needs to be addressed. To where let's say there's other people who do it, but they don't have the same numbers. Yeah.
So to answer you, it's not that I don't. I do have some higher ticket. I mean, I guess let's define, what high ticket is, but
not high ticket. Like, let's say someone who's doing 5 deals a month. You're like, all right, bro, like it's time.
Yeah, I have students like that. I have students that I help scale. Those are actually some of my favorite because I can just fucking supercharge them, and it's more mindset wise that way. But right now, I'm focusing a lot of my efforts too on the Hispanic side and teaching in Spanish, which is a huge blue ocean. But yeah, even in English, I have students that, I have some students that are 5K a month, right, with me, and I pretty much tune up all their business, and I'm available a couple hours a week. And then I have some group coaching that I do, which is lower tier, but again, I'm earning those positions there. And I'm getting my feet wet because I've only been doing it for about 10 months. So, but deal partnering is what I love to do. I love when people bring me deals and we can JV, or I'll buy them, or I'll supercharge that, like a 20K deal for me. For them, I can turn it into a 40K deal, right? Teaching them how to do novations, teaching them how to actually run an operation, what the difference between a business and a hobby is, because there is a really big difference. And most people actually just run a hobby. They're not running a business. And they're making a couple $100,000 a year. So it kind of like, it fucks up the perspective.
It's no man's land.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, but I'm successful. I'm like, no, like this is nothing. You could be making a lot more than this, And then, there's the whole aspect of wealth and keeping stuff and all that stuff. What are you doing with your money, etc. So, but no, I appreciate the compliment. I have plans longer term to get into that, because I feel like I do have a lot of value to add, for sure.
Is your Wi-Fi back? You got any questions?
I think it is. Is it coming through fine now?
Yeah, it's better now.
I'm in the Sprinter van today. So we're traveling. We're down in beautiful Visalia. We had a good welcome back party yesterday at me and Ed's, one of our favorite spots to go to growing up. And there was a guy just shooting up doing drugs in the corner. That was pretty cool for the kids to see. We were like, what is going on here, dude? Like, this is a good part of town. Why is there a guy doing drugs inside me and Ed's? This should not be happening.
It's California, baby.
Pizza?
That's what happens.
What was that?
California.
Buy a pizza?
Did we buy a pizza? Yeah, it was
No,
like,
did he
wow.
buy a pizza?
Oh, he had a me and Ed's cup with him. So he's had to have been a customer at some point. Yeah, no, when I walked in, I was like, this guy looks sketch, but he had his me and Ed's cup. And then the wife is like, dude, get over here right now. I was like, all right, I know it's something with this guy because he already looks sketch. She's like, we got to get the kids the heck out of here. I was like, dude, what the heck?
Big boy Dean came out. He was like, dude, I will corn tackle you into next week, dude. You have no idea what you're messing with. Cool. Bow.
Ricardo's got the same shirt as you.
There
Nice.
you go, Ricardo. I love
Ricardo, do you have the XL like Will does? Because his fits him like a glove.
it.
I think Will went home, took it to his tailor, said, hey,
He did.
make it fit my titties right.
I need
Right?
you
And
to
I want a little bit of stretch just right here. But like right here, it
Make it
needs to
look
be tapered down.
Like I bench press 400 pounds. Make that happen.
Yeah. Put this in right here, 2 inches, taper it, and I can still keep the XL sticker. That's it.
Yeah.
Dude, I tried on the large with my chick at the race, and I tried it on over my shirt, and I was like, yeah, no, this isn't gonna work out. She's like, I think you need an XL. I was like, yeah, I think I need an XL. But they kind of run tight, so.
So bro, what are some of the bottlenecks you ran into besides like having to turn back spend as like because you were doubling year over year, and I don't think people really get how crazy that is from an operational standpoint.
Yeah.
Shout out to
So like what
to
were you
this guy
running
here.
into?
What?
Someone
said,
just said nice
shout-
interview, guys.
Yeah, shout out to this guy. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, man. Appreciate that. So the question was, what are the bottlenecks I ran into?
Yeah, so like you're going from 1 to 3,
Yeah.
a whole lot changes. From 3 to 7, a whole lot changes, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So like what were you running into? How'd you solve it? What was like your thought process of that? And you're like, okay, because one thing I love how fast you make decisions, because that's another thing I need to work on more. Because like I will like sit on it, dwell on it, chew it over to where in all reality, bro, every decision can be fixed. So just fucking make the decision and keep on moving.
Well,
Yeah.
this person says this tells me the sky is the limit.
Absolutely.
Let's go.
And I don't know if you knew this, but we've been to outer space too. So don't just stop at the sky. There's so much more out there, outside of there.
Whether we've been to the moon or not is debatable. I don't know. I still have my questions.
We do know that we put satellites up in orbit. That much we know. So
I think it was fake.
yeah.
I at this point, I think it was. We would have been back, bro.
Dude,
We would have been back. Why would
we
Elon be fucking pushing this hard if we'd already been there?
We would have been back so many times. When did that happen? Like the 60s or 70s? Or,
Bro,
I
like
don't
the
even know.
fucking 70s, bro.
1969 was the year.
There you go. You're telling me in 1969 we had better technology to be on the moon, chilling, bouncing around, showing off, and everything like that, to not have been back at least a half a dozen times, if not more? You kidding me?
Come on, bro. We invaded fucking Iraq for 20 years. You're gonna tell me they're not gonna build a base on the moon? Come on, bro.
I think these are all debatable topics.
Let us know what you think down in the comments if you're watching this live. Did we actually land on the moon or was it fake? Let us
Put a
know what you think.
rocket emoji if we went to the moon. Put just a turtle if we didn't go to the moon. That's the emoji. No, but to get back to your question, we ran into bottlenecks. So I started getting into the mentality as we were scaling. I don't know why, but it just like hit me one day, and I was like, all right, we are going to. I was looking for bottlenecks. I was almost looking to like tweak and increase so fast that I was like, where's the next bottleneck going to come? So I started to like, all I was doing was looking for bottlenecks, meaning like we would have an acquisition bottleneck. Like we'd throttle down on the marketing and the leads. And then it was like, oh shit, we got a bottleneck. We got to hire more. We got to train better. Then when we do that,
when you were in the day-to-day, how were you able to make those changes? Because I think I can say I'm guilty of being in the business and focusing on getting those deals, those transactions moving forward, and you lose track or sight of being able to work on the business. So what allowed you to do that?
I focused very early on accepting the fact that I was going to have to take a lot of time and spend a lot of energy and money on making the best version of my team. So trying to duplicate myself, and that's a very big ego thing, and I had a lot of struggle with that in delegation. So the faster I could delegate, the better. And it was just like, if I saw something wasn't working, I document it. Sharper was a big help for me with business solutions. They came in, they McDonaldized the shit out of my business. We were doing like almost 3 mil when they came in. Shout out to Eric Brewer. That's how we became friends. And he's like, dude, you guys got a great thing going here, but you have no fucking idea what the hell's going on. I'm like, I know. That's why you guys are here, because we don't have anything written down. Like, we just really good at doing deals. We put up 90, 100-hour work weeks. Fuck. Like, we don't. But I can't step away, because if I step away, it's like
it's all gonna crumble. It's
like
it's all just gonna fall down.
A Jenga game. Like, it's only a matter of time before you're and the whole thing falls down. So I think it was just focusing on training, being there, documenting the process, and very quick tweaks. Paying really close attention to it and very, very quick tweaks. But also, at the same token, I really wasn't afraid to take enormous amount of risk, put a lot of money out there, and just break shit. That's one thing that it doesn't sound sexy, and it doesn't sound like, because it's not very like couth, but I was just breaking shit left and right, and I was looking for shit to break. I was like, well, what happens if we bump up to 150,000 mailers? Okay, cool. Well, the fucking call system would break, or the CRM would break, and we'd be like, oh, okay, cool. So how the hell do we fix that? What kind of automations can we add to that? All right, cool. Well, what happens if we hire 3 reps at a time? Okay, cool. Let's see what happens there. A bunch of shit would break. What happens if we train them this way? What happens if we do that, right? And that kind of stuff. So I just tweak, and that was it.
Did you have a mentor along the way?
I did. I had 2 mentors. I had a mentor when I first started, which that relationship was like 4 months long. Nothing crazy there. He just taught me like the very early beginnings. And then I caught a second mentor probably 2 years into the business. That dude helped me a lot. He had already been a multiple 7-figure guy, and he was retired at this time because he bought like 100 rentals from 2010 to 2015. And then he just retired. He had a kid, he retired. His portfolio like quadrupled in value. He was buying houses down here for 50 grand that are now worth 300-400 grand, right? So he taught me a lot. He kind of took me under his wing. And we worked together for about 1.5 years. And then what most people don't know is that I sold a third of my business at one point to that third partner that came in. And, that's part of the reason why it allowed us to supercharge, because we ended up getting $1 million cash and $1.5 million in a line of credit. So, I designed that deal, and I really wanted that deal to come to fruition because we were already jamming, but I knew like, okay, we could get there just so much faster if we do this. And that was another risk, right? Giving up a third of my company. And I took the risk. Now, it ended up crashing and burning because, the guy that joined us was absolutely useless, but he was with us.
You did it for money in the first place.
Right. And he wasn't there. What I figured out was it's very, very difficult, if not near impossible. I would like to be proven otherwise, that when you've built a business from scratch, from being broke to multiple 7 figures already, then you had a third person buy in. So, hey, here's my fast pass. I go to the front of the line. Very hard to respect somebody like that over time. And it's very hard for them to see it like your way and that way. And there was a big alpha ego thing. And, it got to a point where I'm like, dude, you're a fucking placeholder. Like, you haven't been here since the beginning. Like, all you came in with some money and some credit. Like, you weren't in the trenches like him and I were, So that was its own thing. But it served its purpose, and it taught me it was a risk, like I just said. It was a risk like anything else. And then we ended up buying back that third because we're like, okay, well, that didn't work out the way that we planned it, right? And then we went back to 2. And then now there's just me because I bought out my last partner. And again, it was a difference of vision. That's really what happened.
Culture. Well, the thing I wanted to bring up is it sounded like that other guy didn't fit the culture either.
He didn't fit the culture. And then my co-founder and I, I wish him the best and all that, but we just had different visions. Like by the time that whole thing, I went through a very nasty business divorce, like lawsuits. It was not pleasant for a year. And dude, that story is a shit show. It's crazy. And then my co-founder and I ended up alone again. And it was almost immediate. Like I was already doing the education and I wanted to take the business in another direction. He wanted to go in another direction. He wanted to raise money. He wanted to get a third partner.
Start doing apartments and stuff.
No, not even that. He wanted to do the wholesale side. He just like that.
Oh, he wanted to take on just another equity partner.
Same
shit you guys did last time.
And I literally told him, I was like, I love you, brother. Ain't for me. I'm out. And I told him, I was like, I'll buy you out at X. I bought him out at X, and that was that. And we went separate ways because I had a different vision. And I really learned a lot about myself that, I'm not saying I was a poster boy. I had my difficulties working with me too, I'm sure. But it was just more like, dude, I work better alone in this regard. Like now in my life, I have strategic partners. I don't have a partner that I'm married to. That's a very different partnership. I figured that out the hard way. When you have full business partners, that is a marriage, and sometimes worse than a marriage. And then when you have multiple business partners with multi millions, that can be a recipe for disaster. Let me tell you. And when shit hits the fan, when you got nothing and shit hits the fan, can't really be that bad. When you got multi-millions in the air and shit hits the fan, it's bad.
Then shit starts to get dicey.
Oh, it starts to get bad.
Well, because a little bit about my situation because that's the same thing, bro. It's like fucking. Did you ever find someone who could keep up with your pace? That's one thing I found that's like impossible.
No.
To someone like keep up with like just the overall pace and like I'm trying to go here. This is where we're going, and some people will just be afraid by the statement.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, bro, this is what we're fucking going for.
Nope. Till this day, I haven't. So I'm willing to put up. I'm not saying I'm the best, but I am saying that I'm relentless and my work ethic is second to none. So it is very difficult to do that. And I'm always consistently honing in my craft and educating myself more. And I'm insatiable. I always told my girlfriend, I said, the day that I wake up and that I don't feel that fire or that urge anymore, I'll go do something else. Till this day, I haven't felt that way. And it just keeps going higher and higher and higher,
This is a good transition right here.
One more question, Dino.
Okay.
I love talking away about some stuff.
You always got good questions too. So,
how are you filling the hole that your partner left? Like you're like, all right, I need to pay X amount of this person $150,000 to $200,000 a year. They're gonna fulfill this role, and then because like whenever I'm making hires at a certain level, I'm like, you're coming in to build. Like you're not gonna like step into some shit. Like you're coming in to fucking build shit. You're not gonna have like a fancy onboarding. Like so, like how did you handle that, or how are you going to handle that?
Yeah, so I'm handling it right now. I'm not going to bring in another partner. If anything, I'm going to bring in a COO. I'm rebuilding. Right, I kept a real skeleton crew, and through the deal partnerships and the education, and even just referrals, I'm generating $1 million a year calmly. I'm keeping more rentals. So it's funny. I did $7.3 million, okay, gross, and the take home for 3 partners was 1.6. Okay.
Oh, that's a ton of burn, bro. That's a lot of burn.
Well, trust me, it'll happen. And then we had salaries on top of that. So you could argue it's 2.1. But even then, you're still operating at 33%. That's pretty solid for what it is because of the amount of turn and taxes and all that shit. Now I can net $1 million in 2023, which I'm sure I'll hit no problem. And dude, my take home is going to be much more than what it was. I keep my brain intact and I can focus on a lot more stuff and I can grow exponentially. I don't need a committee to run decisions by and, I hate having meetings on meetings. I hate that shit. I can't stand it. If we're meeting about something, it's usually something went wrong. Like what, we can meet to plan and, level 10s and you're L10. Cool. Let's get it done. Get the fuck out of the way. That's it. Next thing. and I feel like it was too difficult because I saw a vision and I'm like, that's where we need to go and execute. And it was like, well, like they were risk averse. I'm not saying that I'm right or wrong. It worked for me. If I'm going to fuck up, even till this day, I'd rather fuck up at 1,000 miles an hour.
Right, but I'd rather fuck up going hard
than
fuck up playing small, not have anything. But yeah, we're on the same page, bro.
Dude, if you're focused on a $10,000 problem, it's the wrong problem. I'd rather focus on $1 million problem. It's going to pay 10 times better. And
you're going to learn more. You're going to get farther.
Less of a headache. I'm working on a deal right now that's $4 million an assemblage, and it's less headache than a fucking $20,000 wholesale. It just is what it is. It is what it is. It's a different conversation. I've gotten a $350,000 reduction like that. No problem. I mean, it's just different. It's different. And your options are endless. So that's a mindset shift. Not saying that I wouldn't. I still do $20,000 wholesale, 30, 50. I had one close today. It was 67. It's great. It's awesome. But long-term, focus on a bigger picture. That's just it. And if you start to focus on that, you attract bigger opportunities.
The opportunities. There you go. Say that again.
If you focus on that, you just attract bigger opportunities. That's a fact. You're not going to listen. And there's a season for that. You do have to go through that when you're broke, when you're not making any money. 10K deal, amazing. That's life-changing. 20, 30, life-changing again. But after you've been making money for a while, you're either going to stay stagnant or you're going to level the fuck up and be like, all right, is this all I want to do in my life? Is all I want to do is make $1 million a year, $2 million a year? Is that really it? Because I've done that and I'm like, fuck that. No, I have so much left in the tank, And David Goggins, that's why I love David Goggins so much. The guy runs 100 miles and he's like, well, Moab 240 sounds pretty good. And he's like, fuck it, let's go. And if I die along the way, fuck it. And then he does his thing, and he'll just, I'm sure the guy will run a 300-mile marathon. And it just keeps pushing those boundaries. And I think as an entrepreneur, that's kind of our job to a certain degree, in my opinion, to be a true entrepreneur. That's just my opinion. I think that you should always be pushing those boundaries. And the day that you're not, then that's it. Then you hit your threshold. Maybe you didn't want it as bad as you did. But, I see that happen with students all the time. Like, young Thundercats will come to me and be like, bro, I want to be where you are, bro. Like, I'm going to get to fucking where you are. Like, I'm going to do 7 mil. And I'm like, okay, bet. Put up the time, put up the work. And then I see their work ethic just go, and it levels off. And I'm like, you don't want that shit. You thought you wanted the Ferrari, but you didn't want what came with the Ferrari. That's the problem. You didn't know how hard it was to get that Ferrari. You didn't know what the gas bill was. You didn't know what the insurance was. You didn't know anything.
What the tires cost.
Yeah, you didn't think about that. You just saw it on Instagram and it was like, oh, this is awesome. No. That's not. And that's like something that society has kind of warped with this whole Instagram thing, where you see the end result and it looks so pretty and it looks so cool. You don't see a lot of the journey. Like, I've done over 500 deals in my career. People love to bring that shit up. Cool. You don't see the 500 plus deals that I fucked up on top of those 500 deals. The ones that I didn't do. The ones that I didn't get right. The millions that I lost along the way. The bad partnerships. The bad employees. All that shit. The stupid decisions, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Nobody talks about that. Nobody.
Hell yeah. All right, let's make that transition, Dino.
Yeah. No, I think everything that you said is big about mindset. And if you think about the growth, that only comes from you wanting it. Like, a lot of people, like you said, they might say they want it, but once the rubber meets the road, they're like, oh, I guess I don't want to work that hard. And most people that I see out there right now, they say they want it, but they're just not putting in the work. And dude, the work isn't that sexy a lot of the time. I mean, it can be enjoyable. Like, if you enjoy the journey, which you really need to work on enjoying the journey and not just the end result. And once you can enjoy the journey, it's that much more fulfilling. But a lot of people want to just press that easy button and go right past go, collect their $200 and be making the big bucks. But dude, there's a lot of work you got to do. and there's no shortcut to it.
Dude, you were in the NFL. Best example right here, right? How much hard work and sacrifice and dedication did it take for you to even have the consideration to go into the league?
Yeah.
Right?
Insane amount. Yeah, just like.
And how many guys did you see along the way that were studs, wanted it, work ethic, all this shit, and then they gave up or they didn't commit all the way? How many?
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah. Dude, I always say it over and over and over again. The amount of people, I was never the biggest, the fastest, the strongest, the most athletic. I just saw some incredible freak athletes with crazy stats and unbelievable God-given talent that just flat out never even got the chance to make it because they didn't do the small stuff consistently day in and day out. 365, man, 365. I just put in the work nonstop. And I had to continuously keep leveling up. And so anyways, yeah, no doubt about it. All right. We got some love for you. Amazing Willie numbers from Rachel.
That's awesome.
I love that.
That's your mom.
You got the family love rolling in today.
Your mom, I love you. My whole family. Yeah, that's good. Support system. You gotta have it.
That's good.
You gotta have it.
Yeah. This is where I was going to transition. Stratton is right here. We got another couple good questions. So, interested in more rentals, what to look for, and how to get started. I got all my opinions and everything, but let's
you can go first, Willie.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot of ways to get started. First of all, don't think that you need to like 20% it or have your own cash or anything. The first rental I ever bought, again, taking big risks, ass backwards. I bought a 16-unit portfolio with owner financing, and I raised the money, which was $350,000 on the down payment, and I ended up with a portion of the equity. So that was my first rental. I had never been a landlord. I was a year into the business, and I ended up with 16 doors, and I self-managed it for a year and a half. It was a disaster, but it was awesome. And I ended up buying out my partners in it, and then I ended up selling it at the height of COVID. But I'd say probably the simplest way to get started is sub-twos. Some sort of creative deal, which really boils you down to getting really good on the phone, recognizing opportunity, asking the right questions, which comes to framing, educating yourself on it. Because I think you'd be shocked at how many people are open to doing something like that. Like I bought a rental the other day for $4,000. I bought the deed for $4,000. It has an $1,100 a month payment. Plus the water, electricity, and all that stuff. I'm cash flowing $2,500 a month, and I'm keeping a 10-year mortgage in place at 3%. So, and it was $4,000 for me. I mean, most people would be like, "Dude, that's impossible." I'm like, "Well, you didn't ask the right question, right?" So, I think that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, my take on this, and I think Jason and I would both agree. We've both said it on this podcast. Is I'm just looking for deals. I'm actively looking for deals. I'm marketing for deals. What deal, what exit strategy, how I'm going to do that deal will present itself. And that's why, as a good real estate investing entrepreneur, you need to get skilled at first finding deals and negotiating those deals. Then you'll learn the best way for you to get paid. It depends on where you're at, what the circumstance is. For me, it's always about wholesaling to generate that cash and have money so that you're in a good place financially from a stability standpoint to go flip that house and not have everything on the line at risk. So you can go buy that rental and, the AC just went out or that tenant just trashed the place. You don't have a $10, $15, $30,000 remodel budget that you don't have the finances for. So get good at finding deals first, negotiating good deals, and then you can figure out the best way to get paid. But what Jason and I have both said on this podcast is, hey, the best deals that we have are the ones we end up keeping as rentals. They're the same deals that we're marketing to that we're going to wholesale or flip. And the ones that just happen to be the best with the biggest numbers, we just say, dude, these numbers are so good. Like I can't not keep it. So those are the ones that we'll keep as rentals. And usually we buy them so good, just like you said, Will, where we'll have like no money in the deal. I think 2 rentals that we've bought. One we bought was a mobile home for cash for 10 grand. And we rent it for 750 a month. Another is one that we bought. It was a little bit higher than where we would have liked to be, but great neighborhood. The numbers penciled out, and we put 20 grand into the deal from the refinance. Other than that, every other property we've purchased, remodeled, rented out, refinanced, doing the BRRRR strategy, we've had no money left in the deal. And that's just as a result of finding good deals. So that's my opinion on how to get started is get good at finding deals, getting in front of people who have problem properties or financial issues or whatever it is, and you being that solution to them to put a win-win together.
Yeah, I think if you build the right machine, a marketing machine, it gives you options. So like my marketing machine, after a certain amount of time, I realized like I had an aha moment where I was just like, man, does it fit in a wholesale? I call them buckets. Does it fit in a wholesale bucket? Does it fit in a fix and flip bucket? Does it fit in a buy and hold bucket? Which one does it go into? Does it fit in a creative bucket? Is it innovation? Whatever. And like it's like asset management at Merrill Lynch. You don't give a shit about anything else. You're just looking at everything. You're like, that goes there, that one goes there, this one goes here, oh, that one goes there, and that's it. But you give yourself options. That's what you need.
I got nothing to add, bro. Market your ass off and learn how to talk to people. That's how you get into it.
And
another good question here. Any advice, direction for those starting out on how to set up the business end of things, tax people, all that kind of stuff?
Go ahead, Willie, and then I'll go next.
Yeah,
it's a lot to unpack.
So you might not like the answer to this question, but if you're just starting out, I think that's the wrong question.
Yeah,
I think that's completely the wrong question. I with all due respect, I think that's putting the cart before the horse. And when I started off, very rare exceptions. Like if you're coming into this business with a couple
money.
100,000 or a couple million, and you're like, hey, what do I do with my money? Different conversation, right? Yes, you should worry about tax, this and that, dude. I couldn't even fathom what taxes were, or people, or a CPA, or whatever. I was just, how do I market and find a deeply discounted property? Because I knew the money will follow, and then those solutions will follow. I will address that problem when it comes here. So I think that's my 2 cents on that.
For me, man, I mean, I'm in the same boat. Don't worry about anything except talking to more people. We have to hammer this with our students. The only thing that matters is talking to more sellers. That's the only thing that makes us money, is talking to sellers. No LLCs, nothing else. Talking to people who have problems and then coming up with solutions. As far as like taxes and everything else, if you do a deal, set up an LLC and write off everything else for that, and you'll be fine. Go get a CPA, though. Don't use TurboTax.
Yeah. I'd say the same thing as Will, too. Go focus on finding deals. Then you can figure out what the people are you need after that. So, yeah, that's the same advice I have. Any recommendations to find cash buyers? By the way, if you're watching this live, you haven't asked a question
right here, baby.
Fire away, guys. If you got more questions, this is what we're here for. This is the part we love the most, is interaction with you guys. So if you're sitting here watching, you got something that's burning on your mind, something you heard Will talk about, make sure to fire those questions away. But what are your recommendations, Will, on finding cash buyers?
So believe it or not, I use batch leads. I do like their cash offer, or their cash buyer feature. There's a couple different ways. Just keep it simple.
What's your promo code?
It's willienumbers.io. It's there. It's in my profile for sure. But I definitely use it. I actually been using them for a while. I like their interface too. But anyway, like batch leads is great. Prop stream is also cool. Just simple ways to find cash buyers. And then of course, like the MLS, you can actually pull cash buyers from the MLS. You could also, I would venture to say, when you, again, putting the cart before the horse, if you're, I don't know how much context of this question, but let's just assume that you are not really doing deals yet. If you get a good deal on the acquisition side, the cash buyer is going to be the least of your worries. And as a matter of fact, I would venture to say that you should be JVing on your first deals with people like us that already have established gas buyers. So you could go out and do the revenue generating activity of generating more deals. And then
not fuck up the escrow either.
Yeah. And if you want to take it a step further, as soon as let's say your subject property's here, drop a pin, go within a mile radius, start clicking around the property appraiser, at least in South Florida, you'll find LLCs, call them. That's that. I mean, there's a lot of different ways to do it for sure.
My number one way is Facebook is always an amazing one. If you're watching this and you're from the Central Valley, our Facebook group is actually super active. There's so many different cash buyers in there. And then again, JV with myself, Dino, Willie. If you're in a different market, find the number one person in your market. And if you have a good deal, bring it to them. The reason you're protected is because they're the number one person in your market and they're not going to fuck you over because they have such a big brand that they have to protect. And they've done right by so many other people. They're not going to do you dirty.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And, I mean, and then open corporates for LLCs will help you find the actual business owner. Go ahead, Dino.
Yeah, you guys are giving great advice. Those are all different ways that I do it. I'll just mention ones that you haven't said. So meetups are obvious ones. Go to meetups. There's people there that are looking for deals to buy, and there's people that have deals to sell. Meetups are an obvious place you got to go. One that I think people forget about is go to Google. Type in "we buy houses" in your location. Type in "sell my house fast" in your location. Those are two search phrases, as well as several other variations you can think of if you were a seller trying to sell their house. Those are phrases that people are spending money so that when you search that, their ads show up towards the top. Okay. So if you go into Google and type in those phrases in your location, you're going to see people that are spending money so that they're at the top of that search and people that organically show up. And you're going to be able to scroll through like 1, 2, 3, 4 pages and just see like business after business after business that have spent money, who do deals to make sure that their websites are showing up when you do that search. Those are people that are going to be wholesalers or buyers. And just to piggyback, because I'm such a believer in it, and you guys both said it, if you're just getting started, I'd rather, I had another guy on my podcast today, I'd rather go to the best person in the market, the most reputable, most experienced, who's doing lots of deals, and have them make sure they maximize that deal and make sure I don't screw that deal up so that we can really make some serious money on it. Because if you're just new, you might get pushed around. You might literally fumble and like lose the deal because you don't know how to put it together. Instead, go to the experienced person. They'll help you close the deal with the seller. They'll help you handle the escrow. They'll find the buyer. They'll like make sure that it has the best chance to be successful, and you'll probably make way more money doing it. And like, what better outcome could you think of? You just gained a relationship with someone who's very experienced, who's going to help elevate your mindset, your relationships, and not to mention just helps you make more money better on that deal.
It's also a great last little chime in here to Dean's point. Great. Listen, if you have a deal, one of the best things you could ever do, and be a forward thinker here, take it from me. This is what I did when I first started off with my first mentor. Awesome way to get a mentor, to bring value day one. Bring them a deal, make them some money, get their attention. They're going to answer the phone the next time you call. You just made a great
100%.
friend who's above you in relative terms that can help elevate you more than likely. Just my 2 cents.
Yeah.
I love it, dude.
We both clicked on it at the same time. For those watching, buy your tickets for this Saturday event. Tons of value. Thank you for the shout out on this.
When is that again?
Saturday.
This Saturday, May 13th. This is the type of conversations that we have. This is the type of value we want to bring and add to anybody that's around. And I think every one of us are on this call because we're all about adding value to others. We've all experienced when you give value to others, God finds a way of reciprocating that and bringing it back to you tenfold. Right. So appreciate the shout out on that. Here's another one. What's one piece of advice to scale your business to reach the higher levels when you're a control freak?
Humble yourself.
This is a great
Go
question.
ahead, Willie. You scaled the farthest.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Go hire experts very quickly, coaches, experts in where you want to go. For me, it was Sharper. I had buddies that had already scaled to $4, $5, $6, $10 million. They had hired them, and I knew it wasn't my forte. Right, as you scale up, or and you want to really get to that next level. Spoiler alert: you don't know everything, and you're probably not the best at doing that. You're the best at doing what got you there. So stay there. Go hire an expert that can do that for you and with you. That's the best thing you can do. That's the best cheat code that you have. I wish I would have done that. I did it pretty early on in my career, but I wish I would have done it more. And again, going back to the whole partnership situation, they didn't see the value in that. I did. So, you have to listen. Whatever. I don't like the guy, but take LeBron James. All right. The guy has like 6 different coaches in his life for nutrition, for dieting, for plyometrics, for stretch. I mean, for everything. He has a mindset coach, Tony Robbins. I mean, he has everything. And he's the best athlete, arguably, in the world. Why do you think that is? As he continues to level up, his team just gets better. And he just hires experts. It makes him better because he knows LeBron can't do it all. And that's a fact.
Do you know you got anything?
Let's think. I think as a control freak, which I'd admit that I am. Will, are you a control freak?
A little bit.
You pretty much said it. You are like, hey, it's so I know that I am because I feel conviction, right? I'm so passionate about what I'm doing. Like, hey, this is the direction we're going. I know this is going to work. I believe in it, right? I think that's part of where the control freak comes from. So I know for me, I think you said it well, Stratton, to humble myself in the sense of, hey, you know what? I need to give ownership to other people within this business and elevate them, right? It's not about me. And if it is all about me, then how is anybody going to want to be in that environment long term, right? So I've learned as I've transitioned to becoming more of a leader rather than, an owner operator. I've really elevated a lot recently over the past year, especially into that leadership role where I'm not in the day to day and I'm just checking in with stuff, trying to support the team, try to motivate them, try to give them the support where they need it, give them the tools and systems they need. And once you finally have that shift of, oh, wow, I started this business to be a business owner, not to just be running in the weeds all day, every day. The only way I can do that is by giving up control and putting it in the hands of other people. That's where the aha moment comes in, and it has for me. Now, how do you still manage control and have, sanity around it? It's by having systems and processes in place that people clearly understand and making sure that you're not a micromanager, but you're really putting them in the position to be successful. So that's been really key for us.
You gotta have some faith too, man. You gotta have some faith. You're gonna mess it up. You're gonna put control and trust in other people. They're gonna mess it up. You gotta be pliable with that kind of stuff. Hire, fire, right? But at the same token, like what are you gonna do? You don't want to be the guy doing 100 deals a year with your head on fire all the time. Ask me how I know. You can't live there long term. You just can't do it.
Oh yeah. What else do I have? Get a coach, man. Get a coach, like Willie said. Get clarity on where you're actually trying to go too. Right? You need to get clarity on where you want to go, because then you can actually know what you're going to delegate, what you're going to pass off, what it looks like, because you're so fucking scrambled everywhere upstairs. You don't even know what you need to delegate in the first place. Like, let's actually make a role or responsibility, then pass that off. What else do I have? And then, create value. Like, if you are bringing on these people and the company's not growing because you're not giving them any responsibility, you're going to lose great talent. I've seen it over and over and over again. So like you got to start thinking in a bigger way about how Willie was talking about earlier, man. If you're thinking in a bigger way and you want to actually like grow and keep these good people, bro, we got to give them more and more and more responsibility. And no matter what anybody says, bro, people want to work. People want responsibility. People want to be recognized. People want to feel good. And then you're going to get so much out of seeing these people grow. Because as you're growing your company, bro, you are now a developer of humans. My job is to scale humans. And it's not like operations, like the operations shit, like I can picture it in my head and like, all right, let's go do it. But we got to grow humans and show them how to be the absolute best at what they do, no matter what. That is how you're really going to like start to scale. And that goes into a completely different aspect that nobody really talks about, but that's business.
I got to touch on that real quick. Go ahead, Will.
No, I was just gonna say that is the hardest part. Like
it is.
Human capital is the hardest part.
Yep.
It's why not a lot of companies make it long term. Or if you have an exitable company, you built something fantastic because you're really buying the systems, process, the culture, and the people. And that's why people are paying a multiple for, because this shit is so hard to do. That's why people pay you a 6-8x multiple. They're like, I don't have to fucking do it. I just park my money there and it's done. It takes decades to do that sometimes. Seriously. It's very difficult. Go ahead, Dean. What were you saying?
Yeah, no, Stratton got me fired up thinking about it because this is crazy. Like, it's about the whole thought of thinking bigger, of motivating, incentivizing. So our team was just Mr. I've been Mr. Consistent, not really hitting home run deals, just base hits, doubles, an occasional, tease of hitting third base, right? But no really home run deals. And it kind of bothered me a little bit, but I realized we were so driven and motivated on like just getting deals and being competitive that we weren't really challenging ourselves for going for bigger deals. Well, what do you know? We say, let's set a new challenge. Let's create a challenge called Whale Club. So if you get a 6-figure deal, you're in the Whale Club. What do you get as a prize for that? You not only get your bonus, but you also get a family vacation. You think that's the motivation right there? Like you get a family vacation on top of your bonus. Like that's like a $20,000+ all things considered type of incentive for that person, and now we've had 2 guys both have 2 whale deals at this point, right? And one of our guys who was like really fighting for it just had 2 of those close just in the past week and a half. So that's pretty incredible. Once you put that incentive out there, now they're actually pushing and trying for those kind of deals. And we've made it fun where we're going to have jackets where you got, our company branding, but you also got a Whale Club on there too. And you get a patch for each whale deal you get. It's going to have a little whale patch for each one.
See,
so,
and one thing that Dean has done incredibly well there has been that he hit the emotional side of the incentive, where I found out in my company as well. I used to think that money was the only thing that motivates people because a lot of the times it's what motivates me. That's not necessarily true. There's so many studies that prove already in the workforce.
It's the last thing in the workforce.
If people feel included or you hit their emotional, they're that much happier to work and they just perform 10 times better. It's in the psyche. The bonus is great, but you're hitting something deeper because you're involving their family on a vacation. It's an experience. They won't forget it. They're going to remember that he did that for them. Like, that's just cool. And he doesn't have to. That's going above and beyond. He does not have to do that at all.
Yeah. Well, one of my buddies who owns a massive mortgage company, he told me, whatever you do, don't give them the money for that family vacation. You pay for the family vacation, meaning you book the tickets, you book the hotel, you reimburse for the food, because otherwise, think about it. If you just got like some money to go on a vacation, you're going to be like, well, I'll just pay this bill off. I'll just do that thing. But what about the actual emotional experience that you get, like you said, of going on that vacation that was paid for by the business? Like that feels different. That's cool. So we got Very Nice, Whale Club. Got some shout outs.
I'm waiting for. I want my jacket, Dean.
Thank you, gentlemen. You want one too? You want to earn one too?
I've been a part of the Whale Club a long time, baby. You gotta hit me with that jacket.
Someone said, put yourself around people that are experts in your weakness areas. That way you continue to improve and level up. That LeBron James example was spot on.
Thank you.
All right, another great question here. And before we get to this one, guys, hey, we're getting close to wrapping up here. If you guys got more questions, we've been getting hit with some amazing, incredible questions here at the end. Fire away. I mean, you've got Mr. Will Denis here, Willie Numbers from Florida, who just did $7.3 million. If you don't think
$8 million
stuff, you're crazy. Stratton said he did 8, so it's true. Make sure you ask questions to this man right here. This is an incredible opportunity. So how about more on OPM, other people's money? Is this really possible? Tell us, Will, is it possible?
Yeah. I'll tell you this much. 500 plus deals and counting, 7.3 mil in 1 year alone. And I have never put any of my own money in a flip. So, or in any of my deals. Very rare. Like when I buy a deed or something like that, subject to, yeah, I'll park my money in there. But no, it's 1000% possible. The only thing that's going to stop it is a track record and a limiting belief. I'm going to tell you something really, really high level mindset, hokey pokey thing. You can take this shit to the bank. You will literally get 100% in life what you believe that you are valued at.
Come on, baby.
Say it again.
Negative.
Say it again.
Or positive. You will get 100% out of life in what you believe you value yourself at. Fact. If you value yourself at 100 grand a year, guess what? You're gonna hit that 100K a year. If you value yourself at $1 million a year, you're gonna hit that $1 million. If you value yourself at 5, you'll hit it. 10, whatever, you're gonna hit that. If you value yourself as you know, having 100 rentals, you will hit it. That's a fact. And most of us, I know myself included, have grossly underestimated the goals that we set. And another Tony Robbins quote here, you know, people overestimate what they can do in a year and underestimate what they can do in 5 years. And that's a fact. You know,
that's why it's so important to get around other people.
Correct.
I remember when I thought, when I make $10,000 a month, I will be so wealthy, I just won't have to hardly work. And I remember when I have $1 million in the bank, not that I made, but in the bank, I'll be able to do whatever I want. My goals just keep getting bigger because it's like, nope, it hasn't scratched the itch yet.
100%. That's a fact. So yes, OPM, like naughty by nature, is 100% true. It's a fact. It's doable. Especially as you tier up. That's where relationships come into play. Okay. I cannot stress how important good money relationships are. And that ties into reputation. That ties into track record. That tracks into temperance, how you are, and how people listen. People give people money that they feel comfortable with. They don't give a shit about the investment. It's usually secondary. What they really are asking themselves is, if I give this person money, are they going to do right by me and pay me back? If the answer is no, you're fucked. But if the answer is yes, they really, I'm telling you, man, my lenders, my partners, like the money partner, they don't ask me what the deal is. I'm like, yo, I need 300 grand next week to close on this deal. They're like, all right, done. End of story. Done. Sign the mortgage paperwork. Bye-bye. That's it. And they know in a couple months, boop, they'll get paid off, and that's that. And they'll be like, hey, let me know on the next one. Cool. No problem. I'll let you know. And that's it. That's just it. OPM is 100% possible, for sure. It's a wealth principle. If you're using your own money, dude, you will be here for the next 150 years to get to where I got to. Fact. It just takes so goddamn long to do it.
Yep.
You got to be you're the only person I've known who's raised capital for a wholesaling company, though. Everybody bootstraps.
I
so that's why.
And then I raised it after.
And then you raised it after.
I had the tax returns to prove it. That was the thing. and that was private. I had the tax returns. We had great margins at the time, so we were so lean, and we had done it for 3 years. So the dude that ended up buying, that ended up putting up the money, very well.
He was like, hell yeah.
For his son, he looked at the P&Ls and he looked at the tax returns. He's like, you guys are clearly responsible with money. You know what the hell you're doing, and you're consistently profitable. Here you go. I mean, it was literally that conversation. That was it. And in my mind, bro, I was like, fuck, I should have asked for more. Like, as soon as that happened, I was like, God damn it. Because it was true. I was like, yeah. But again, that's why I go back to the example of you will get what you value yourself at. At that time, I valued myself at the $1 million. That was that. So what did I get? I got fucking $1 million.
Got $1 million.
I was like, God damn it. What if I would have asked for 3? Right? But again, that's belief. It's belief for sure.
Yep.
All right, let's take one last question, then wrap it up. Anybody?
One last question. Fire away.
What size shirt does Dean wear? It is a extra medium baby guy.
Yeah, extra medium, bro. Extra
Medium.
medium for sure.
Make sure
A
to tailor it.
long cut extra medium.
Oh, this is a hot one. Anything about wholesaling being regulated?
Yeah. There's a lot of regulations around wholesale. Depends on the state. Like Oklahoma has made it regulated. I think you need to have a license in Oklahoma. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I'm not an expert, on the subject, but I do have friends that are in states where it's starting to be regulated and stuff like that. I think if you do things the right way and you do things by the book and you don't screw anybody over, you just listen, like anything, right? You just adapt. I think that
that's what I was gonna say.
I heard this years and years ago when iBuyers, in 2017, they weren't as prevalent when I first got in. And I remember hearing it. They're like, oh my God. There was a group of guys that were really heavy on it. And thinking back on it now, they're just scared. But they were like, oh man, these iBuyers are going to come in here and fuck everything up for everyone. And it's over. We're not going to be able to flip a house. I'm like, well, I think iBuyers just proved that they suck because they lost $550 million in a quarter. And they thought they could come in here and do our job. And they suck. They didn't. Hedge funds were supposed to buy everything. Fun fact for you, hedge funds own 4% of all the real estate in the United States of America. 4%. It's still 96% to own. So, again, mindset. So, whether it's regulated or not, who cares? What does it matter?
Learn how to play the game. That's my only answer. Learn how to play the game. The game is always changing.
That's it.
Yep.
That's it.
All right, we got
Mike.
Michael McDonald. Will is the man.
What's going on, bro?
He's in the
What's up, Mike?
What's going on,
Yes,
brother?
sir. We got Dean still works out, so he's definitely at least XL because I wear medium and he's way bigger. So
is that your mother that said that comment? Is that who that is?
Wait, I'm gonna tell her to. I'm gonna give her the thumbs up.
I don't know if I said.
Appreciate the love. All right, so this person said, so at this point, just get your real estate license and keep wholesaling. Other states want you to be licensed, problem solved. It could be the solution in the future. I personally don't want to get licensed. We'll see where it goes, but I agree. You adapt, you evolve to the changing times. Wholesaling is being taught in real estate classes for realtors. It is, you're not doing anything illegal. It's just they always want more regulation. The governing people of real estate want to make more money and get more.
Here's my tinfoil hat, son.
Right,
we're here. We're going into it. The man's trying to regulate it, bro. They don't want you to make any money.
That's a fact, dude. That's a fact. And look, a lot of this stuff, and it's good that somebody brought this stuff up. Somebody else on my IG live brought up something else where they brought up the whole interest rate thing. And if you got good credit now, you have to pay an extra point. And, I briefly told him, I was like, have you actually read the regulation? Do you actually understand what it means? Because misinformation is the cause of stuff like this. So really get educated on what it actually means, because people have a tendency to take something, the difference between news and noise, and run with it. And that's not necessarily the case. If you actually read at something, it's not true. most of the times I found like, damn, oh, okay, I misunderstood that. Now I understand it. And like Stratton said, get yourself ready to play a different game. That's it.
Yep. Awesome. We got a 405 bench club here.
God damn.
I think I know who this is.
Who's that?
Who's
he's
part
meaty.
of the 405 bench club?
Yeah, bro. Who's a part of the 405 bench club, bro?
Yeah, who's that?
He'll be at the meetup. I'll point him out to you.
All right,
I'm
bro.
not part of the 405 bench club. I'll be the first to admit it.
Yeah.
I think the closest I ever got was like 295 in college.
I pushed 365 on a good day.
That's all.
Really? Bro, I don't even bench anymore. Yeah, do you even, I feel like you're a cable guy, bro, because you're a lean dude. Like you can tell the dudes who fucking bench, because they walk around the gym, they scream, they have those little tank tops that only cover their nipple. Like Dean's not quite that guy.
So I used to bench a lot of weight. I used to be like literally repping out 335. And so my bench did get up to 400. I was in the 400 club. That was my max.
So humble.
Okay.
But
you made it.
But I wasn't really warming up till I was hitting 315. But I beat my shoulders up so much playing football that I kind of got away from it. Like I used to still bench, and then the pandemic happened, and there wasn't the opportunity to have the benches, right? I had the dumbbells at home. I was doing dumbbells up to a certain weight. But when I got back on the bench, like it was like riding a bike for the first time again. I was like, holy crap, dude. And so I've just been getting my bench back up. I'm finally starting to rep 275 again. But I don't love it because it does put a lot of strain on my shoulders.
Yeah.
So I find this delicate balance. I keep going back and forth between wanting to bench, like, I've been benching squatting 335 again and trying to work back up there. But it's like, then my body starts to hurt, and then it's like,
bro,
is it
why
really
are you trying to
worth
put
it?
yourself through that? Why are you trying to put a bar
No
on your
one's
back?
paying
Again?
you for that anymore, dude.
Bro,
I know.
I was like, nobody's paying me for a back squat. I'm not gonna do another one.
I was deadlifting, warming up at 135. I'm like, this is stupid. Like this is not like I'm 230, and I'm like, this is what stupid looks like.
But dude, hey, my shorts, they were getting tight. These legs
So
are pumping.
That is a
up,
benefit,
dude.
bro. Yeah,
and I was
I'm gonna wear some shorties, bro. I'll wear some shorties on Saturday.
I'll tell you what, dude. You know what I've been doing like for the last year or so? This is crazy. I put up 135 135 on the bench, and I go for 50 reps. I'll do 3 sets of 50 reps.
Yeah, that'll fuck you up.
Dude, my chest is like out to here where my shirt's hanging after that. And people are looking at me like, these guys on the 275. I'm like, dude, it's like 4 reps, 5 reps. I'm like, dude, I just banged out 150 reps. My chest is out to here. And the risk of injury is really low. Really low.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Time under tension is what matters.
That's true.
That's just me. But
that's true.
All right.
I'll defer to Dean here because he's the
right. And Mike said you don't even lift, so that we all know.
He said, do you even lift well?
Yeah, we had a good start, Mike. No.
Yeah,
you came in here all hot. You're like, hey, man, Will's the man. No,
Will's the man. Wait, does he even lift, though?
Yeah.
Will doesn't even have titties. Will doesn't even have titties. He doesn't even do chest.
Lucky I didn't come on here with a tank top on, boy. I was gonna do
all right.
Before this thing.
Thank you so much for your time, bro. I'm trying to be cognizant of your time.
Yeah.
It's fucking 9. It's almost 10 o'clock for you.
No kidding. He's ready to go, though. He's just getting started. His day's just getting started. He's about to go put in
bro.
another 5 hours.
Right now.
Otherwise, he's weak.
That's it. That's how it goes. I know you talk shit behind my back, Dean. Don't lie.
No, I lift you up, man.
I lift you up.
I love you. I love you.
I love you too.
But hey, dude, this has been incredible. Thank you for coming on. I know this has been incredible for the listeners. We want to thank everybody who's been on the Deal Champs podcast today, whether you watched it live, whether you're watching it on replay. Make sure if you're watching this on YouTube to go ahead and like and subscribe. That just helps out the algorithm. So please do that. Subscribe, I think, is over here, probably down over there. Make sure you like and subscribe. If you're watching it on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, make sure to leave it a 5-star review. If you have a deal, you want your deal, share it with your friends. If you have a deal, you want it to be highlighted on the podcast. We love bringing on people talking about their deals, you can submit that by going to deanrogers.com/podcast. It takes you right to a Google form. You can fill all that out. Also, if you're watching this live or very soon before our event, we have our big event in Fresno. We want to see everyone there that can possibly make it. We have our tickets available if you go to deanrogers.com/event. If for any reason there's any obstacle, price is an issue, DM us. We got you. Come to the event. We want to see you, your family, any of your friends. These are life-changing events. The more people that are there, the more opportunities will come. So we want to see you guys there. Dude,
Bring your
Will,
mom.
thanks so much for being on. Bring your mom. Show her a good time.
That was a weird transition. Will, thanks so much for being on.
Yeah,
Bring your
right?
mom. I was like, what?
Mother's Day weekend. So he's talking about the event.
Seriously, I've done a lot of these and I've enjoyed this one the most. So I appreciate you guys.
Heck yeah.
I really like it. Thank you guys for having me.
This has been one of my favorite episodes.
Yeah.
Because I actually get to talk shit and be a goofball.
You could have just said the favorite. Just leave it.
You can't shit on everybody else, you know?
Thanks for everybody's involvement too. Everybody that was engaging, asking good questions.
Great questions. You guys got a great audience. It's awesome.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm glad your whole family got to come on and watch you too. So that was
Thank you so much.
Right, most supportive family in the country.
2 people, but thank you.
Yeah, bro, it's all that matters.
Yeah. All right, guys. We'll catch you next time.
Thank you guys. Take care.